The Medical History Museum has a new beginning. It has relocated to 233 Bouverie Street, Carlton. Funded by a grant from the Wellcome Trust, the legacy of Henry Wellcome, it brings together over 10,000 items. It is an important collection for the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Sciences. The University of Melbourne was extraordinarily lucky to be gifted the original fittings and fixtures of the Savory Moore Pharmacy. I am delighted to introduce Jeremy Savory, whose grandfather was the last member of his family to be part of the Savory Moore firm. Jeremy shares the remarkable journey of the pharmacy from London to Melbourne. One might ask the question, what's a 19th century pharmacy doing in Melbourne?
The shop originally opened in 1849 in a converted Georgian terrace. Family history suggests that there was an early royal connection as Savory Moore established itself in Belgravia during the reign of Queen Victoria, and this underscored the reputation the firm had already built among London's most respected circles. With its flagship store on New Bond Street and a shop on Regent Street, Chapel Street then opened to serve the elite residents of Belgrave Square, Belgravia, and all the surrounding royal precinct. And this placed Savory Moore at the heart of one of London's most distinguished neighbourhoods. When the shop finally closed its doors in 1968, the fittings were presented to the Wellcome Trust. And through that connection, the fittings were donated to the University of Melbourne. And this ensured that a remarkable piece of pharmaceutical heritage will be preserved for future generations.
Savory Moore quickly developed an elite reputation with London's high society and the royal family. Jeremy will explain how this all came about.
It started with my great uncle Thomas Field Savory, who was the son of a miller from a small village in Gloucestershire. And having trained as a pharmacist in Cheltenham, this is where it's believed he met many of the great and good of London high society. It was in around 1797 that he was asked to join an established chemist, which is Patherus & Co. in London. And Thomas would then go on to establish his own firm, Savory & Moore. And he developed strong relationships with prominent figures of the era, including the members of the royal family and leading scientific pioneers such as Edward Jenner, who was the creator of the smallpox vaccine. Together, they introduced Dr. Jenner's absorbent lozenges for indigestion, a product that was so successful that it remained part of the firm's offering well into the 20th century.
These connections will go on to shape a long and enduring relationship with the royal family.
The firm held warrants of appointment as chemists to every monarch from Queen Victoria to Queen Elizabeth II. In fact, Savory Moore produced the anointing oil used at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in 1953. Ledger books from the 19th century literally read like a who's who of history. Florence Nightingale, Benjamin Disraeli, and the Duke of Wellington were all customers.
Beyond the famous names, Savory & Moore was known for genuine medical innovation.
One of the most important medical innovations was the poison bottle, which was patented in 1859. And if you look at these bottles, you'll see that they had fluted sides. And the design was intentional so that if you reach for a bottle in the dim light of an oil lamp, the ridges would immediately warn you that by touch, the contents were dangerous. Savory Moore also developed bottles with false lids and corks, which allowed the medicine to be accessed from a false bottom, an early precursor to the child-proof caps that we use today.
One of the most striking features of the Savory Moore Pharmacy are the visual elements. A most eye-catching example are the carboys that were displayed in pharmacy windows.
They were essentially the neon signs of the 19th century. Filled with brightly colored liquids, they were designed to catch the eye of passers-by and signal that this was a place of medicine. And the same goes for the hand-painted specie jars decorated with the crests. They were a display of both professional skill and high status.
The pharmacy also has an extraordinary set of drawers, including over 160 product labels.
Those labels are a testament to the highly personalized nature of pharmaceutical practice at the time. Each one corresponded to a medicine, custom-made for a specific patient. It's a level of bespoke care that can really define the era.
This pharmacy isn't a mere British relic. It was the model for pharmacies across colonial Australia. Looking back, Jeremy reflects on the ultimate legacy of Savory Moore.
I think it places the development of modern medicine into a human context. It shows the progression from handcrafted lozenges and taking the waters to the regulated standards of modern pharmacy that we see today. Above all, it reminds us that the role of the pharmacist as a trusted pillar of community health is a tradition that remains as vital today as it was when Savory Moore was first founded over 225 years ago. For me, understanding that history, both the public legacy and the private family story, is why I feel very strongly about supporting the museum and preserving what remains of it for this year going forward.